Yeah, today I'm gonna multitask a little bit, and yeah, I hope this is working. And I think I'm gonna pick up where I kind of left off. So I kind of did a video on compatibility with East Asian men with other races. So I'm gonna talk about it and replace like the not very good versions of what I had. And I'm gonna do some work while I'm actually talking to you guys. Okay, so like without further ado, my name is Craig. I'm a relationship coach, and I'm gonna talk about what type of women is easiest for East Asian men, and how I feel is compatible. And I'm gonna wait it out, and so you guys don't have to waste a lot of time. So first of all, I have to say because I am Chinese, and I find like other Chinese people a lot easier to get along, you know. And I don't really have a strong political view, but however, I think like right now the Taiwanese people, a lot of Taiwanese have very strong political views. If they don't have political views, it's the best. It's because, I don't want to get into that conversation with about mainland China or things that I really don't give a crap about. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm just normal, you know what I'm saying? I'm just like everybody else. I'm not in a communist party. I'm not in CCP. I don't know anything about it. And even if I do, you know what I'm saying, we just know like a small of a very big picture, so what am I here to criticize? Because I know a lot of people that's in the party and they don't even 100% believe in whatever it is because, everybody got their own point of view, you know? So it's not just one party. It's just like one party with a lot of people with different views, and at the end of the day, we're just human beings. We're just trying to live in our day. That's the thing. A lot of Taiwanese recently give me a lot of you know, um, crap about things that I cannot tell you about. And I don't really like that. So that's the only time that would have some conflicts. But other than that, Taiwanese is actually very, very close to Macau people, Hong Kong people. I think it's really, really, really good pair. Um, I think another really recently very, very strong like race, I think is definitely Koreans. I feel like Koreans have economically and everything has gotten a lot higher. People are a lot more knowledgeable. Their English has improved a lot. Just various things that I think Hong Kong had a bigger leg up back then, but now Korea is very, very strong. I have been to Korea recently, and I loved it. You know what I'm saying? I would have to say it's probably my biggest favorite, you know, Asian Asian country and cities for women, because I feel like the women there, they really know how to put together a really nice package of beauty and upkeep, things like that, which I really care um, about people. I'm very open-minded about lots of things, but I think for mainland Chinese women, also I feel like they also are very, very strong nowadays. I really do. Um, with um, them being more modernized and cultural proximity. And also, I think nowadays it's a lot more reasonable, to date, because they would be saying that, oh, it's fine, just like, just put up whatever, I'm saying we don't need you to buy a house, bag, or whatever, I'm saying back in the days, like, buy me a watch, buy me a this, buy me a that. Nowadays it's just like we just have fun, have some food, it's okay, what I'm saying? So if you guys are into that, I think it's cool. So I don't think there's any more expensive like that we have to go to hotel, buffet to eat or something like that. None of that anymore, man. You know what I'm saying? Just like people are. go as we be. And I think it's also like a beautiful thing that we kind of, ignored. And for Japanese women, I have to say they're ranked also pretty good as well. I think nowadays we're leveling things off with uh, back then I think they were up there, and then now they are like just think we're kind of equal. You know what I'm saying? The younger generation think like most Asian men are equal. They think I think most Korean, sorry, most Japanese women they like Korean men. You know, so they're open-minded. Unlike back then, they only wanted Western men or something if they wanted outside of it. So now there are a lot of chances. So depending on who you are, I think if you're westernized, um, definitely Japanese women love westernized, um, you know, Asians in general. I think moving on to the next proximity would be Thai, Southeast Asians. Thai is definitely a very strong candidate. Um, but before Thai, I would say Vietnamese is definitely very good candidates as well for dating. Um, but you got to watch out because the socio-economic thing is actually still a huge disparity, despite the fact that their economy has brought up a lot. There's still, you don't know what they're really thinking um, if they're from, local Vietnam. So we don't know um, because you don't know until you are in that, place, situation, things like that. Um, maybe like Malaysia might be like a really good thing. Um, Lots of Asians, but you know, different variety of Asians, Malays, stuff like that. But I think there are people that says like they will ask me about Filipinos and stuff like that, and I think Filipinos is a very hard matchup for a lot of Chinese per se. It's because like the hot ones, the nice looking ones, they'll be wanting Western guys, American guys, white guys. Uh, the not very good ones or you don't think they're very good. So it's usually not a very good exchange, I think, for like Filipinos. And let's not talk about Indonesians. But I don't have a lot of data. I don't know a lot of things about it. And let's talk about Russians. I'm saying next thing is that Russians, Baltic, Ukrainian. I would say like they are very, very like suitable for East Asian men. First of all, they think like, you guys are hot, like they love the look of East Asians, because Kazakhs people do look like that. So it's just very warm, like it's a warm circle, versus like for Western European women where they have historically um, raised us raised them to think that Asian men are kind of like coal mining workers or sweatshop managers or whatever. Um, so um, let's get to this. Okay, so like I have to say like the most attractive is definitely Ukrainians. I think it's number one for women. Um, that's for sure. They are available as well for East Asian men. Russians are also very, very good. They're also available. And also I have to say like Kazakhs women are also very good, very modernized and things like that. And I would say they are all very attractive. But I would have to say like I would go say um, um, Ukraine, then Russian, then Kazakh, women are very attractive. You know what I'm saying? So it's very suitable overall. Um, I think next up would be the Eastern Europeans, other Eastern Europeans like Czech, other ones and stuff like that. I don't know, man. It's just like there are a lot of good ones, but I think the closer to Russia, you have better chances. The farther away they are from Western Europeans, they're gonna have more Western European ideals, like Polish and stuff like that. I don't think they're as interested in, like like East Asians. Um, there's also like the narrative they wanted to be with the EU, things like that. I don't want to spend too much time on, people that wouldn't think that you're like you're like really really good, like Romania and stuff like that. Like Russian women, they're gonna be very serious with you if you can handle it. But you gotta bring your A game, you know what I'm saying, to Russian women. You have to bring your A game, in terms of like physicality, in terms of mental toughness, because they're tough, you know what I'm saying, they're hard. But, if everything could be handled right, it could be beautiful, you know what I'm saying? It could be beautiful. And don't worry about like your dad and your mom is going to disapprove that. Your dad and your mom's probably going to say like, "Oh yeah, they're beautiful," and it's gonna trump over everything. And that's the truth about Asian parents. They love the white, lighter skin look. Whatever you want to say, man, like about people, things, um, it's going to be like that. And the next thing is that, so highly recommend for you to go for, a Russian, you know what I'm saying? Because if you ever got a job, if you want to have beautiful children, if you want your kids to be smart, you know what I'm saying? Russian is the way to go. It has a lot of the good things about Western Europeans, but not as many as the bad things. And on top of that, they're attracted to you. They like you. You know what I'm saying? They love your look. They love you in bed. They love you in a lot of things. So all these worries that you have, um, when you see Russians and Ukrainians, you know what I'm saying? Like it'll be away. And it'll be like it'll be easy. But you gotta bring your A game. You know what I'm saying? Because you cannot lie to them. You know what I'm saying? They're way too smart. They spot everything out. They're not like Western European women. They're like more gullible. To tell you the truth, Western European women are more gullible. So let's move on to Western Europeans. Like, um, I think, I think overall Western European women is pretty tough because they're not really looking for an East Asian guy. You know what I'm saying? They think that they are very interesting today, especially if the media is saying good things about them. They think they're very interesting. They might say some bad things about it, ignore it, but they're very interested, in this society where they see a lot of pictures, a lot of videos about like Asia. It's like beautiful. It's a great party scene, and they want to know more. So but however, they don't really get to know too many, so it's more like a curious thing. But the thing about Western women is like they like your approach, and I think like for a lot of Asian guys, they don't really want to approach, and it's gonna be a lot tougher. You know what I'm saying? So I think for me, I think the where I would find the most easiest to find people that finds East Asian guys most attractive would be probably for me, I would be from the UK. Because I understand the culture a lot more, understand the humor, understand like what they're really looking for, how to make them laugh, how to make them feel easy. Because I have a very strong um, consensus with like British culture, because I've watched BBC and stuff like that. So for me, it's easy. I think for Singaporean and for them, it's easy as well. I don't know about like any Icelandic or Denmark, those type of girls. I'm sure they're good. You know what I'm saying? I've seen them. They're also all very good in English. I think they want also you to approach first. So overall, um, Yeah, I mean they're beautiful, you know what I'm saying? There's some beautiful women, but you gotta be prepared that to open up your wallet, you know what I'm saying? Because they're very high standard of living, and so you gotta keep up with that high standard. If you're in Asia, you have to be keeping the high standard with them, you know what I'm saying? Like so, it's not gonna be easy. And divorce rates is actually very high, so when things don't go well, don't think they're gonna give you a slap on the wrist, and they have a very high level of like um, you know, thinking that the relationship ideals is very high. So so that you gotta really really know. Let's see. Yeah, I think I probably should go be going soon. And then the next up is I'm gonna have to say that um, I think for South Americans, I think for Americans, it's very much like the way you have American Chinese women and things like that. It'll be like easy, I would say, like sometimes easy, you know what I'm saying? But just because a girl is not as good looking doesn't mean they're gonna comply to you if they're like a Americanized Asian girl, because they could be like, because they're very hot commodities. You have to understand, like in America. So like you never know, because Mark Zuckerberg could be liking a girl who a lot of Asians think is a 4 or 5 or 7. You know what I'm saying? Like they to them it's like 8 or 9. Um, but for us it's only a 6 or 7. So they're gonna go for the Jewish, um, or any rich guys. So for you to compete in that arena is actually not very easy. Not as easy as you think it is. And and they're also gonna be, divorcing you if things don't go well. You know what I'm saying? They got lots of choices. You know what I'm saying? So like overall, um, yeah, it's like and the local American girls is, you're not gonna be able to get like the Ivanka Trump, um, girls, you know, because they're not gonna be interested in you. That's a fact. You know what I'm saying? So, um, you could only get second string, like girls who are naturally poor or like they're a stripper or something like that. Nowadays Asians are great, you know what I'm saying? Because they're open to all of that ideas. So whoever says like being an East Asian guy is crap, it's like I'm gonna freaking like, do this. But yeah, it is everything is like open for you guys, like on business for sure. Um, American black women, sure. I mean like I would say American black women, I would just definitely get them while they're young, because they're still programmable. Because once they actually fall into like a certain group, then it's very hard for them to get out, and it's very hard for you to have anything in common with them. Yeah, you have to get to know them when they're like 18 or something. So, so American black women, there are some attractive ones, but it's definitely like a really hit or miss kind of thing. Really, I don't really know if there's going to be any long-term sustainability with it. It could. It's just like the most hit and miss kind of thing in the world. So, and let's move on to the Latinos. Latinos, I think like Mexicans is where there are a lot of gems that you might not know because there are a lot of literally white Mexicans. White Mexicans are the key to go. If you're looking for a uh, a basically like almost a North American white girl, but you want her to be a with a little bit Latino features, but with a drop dead gorgeous like body and look and stuff like that. Mexican American Mexicans from Mexico's white Mexicans are the best and the easiest for you to access because if you're living in America, just go over, quite honestly, to Mexico City or other places. Easy. They actually don't discriminate, They don't have any preconceptual ideas about China. In fact, actually, they think China is actually great because they're actually using tons of products like BYD and things like that. So they think like, oh yeah, China is smart. Chinese people are smart, man. I mean, of course, they make fun of chinos and stuff like that. It's like, well, Chino, but well, Chino, they got BYD and Xiaomi as well. So, and but anything up, down, and south, under, it's gonna be more difficult because like then they'd be talking a different love language. You know what I'm saying? Like so much romance and things like that. I don't know if like regular like East Asian guys like me can handle their romance. Because they're very into romance and everything, and we're gonna get tired. You know what I'm saying? Singing a love song, singing this, things like that. Can't do it. You know what I'm saying? We get tired, and it's very hard to sustain. Because I'm just talking in like the people that are most similar to the most dissimilar, um, to tell you the truth. But I mean, Asian American girls could be very, very similar, but also can be very, very bad as well if things are not, aligned correctly. And I think lastly, it's just, you know, I think we skipped on Middle Eastern, but I don't really think there is really any good spot, for us in Middle East, um, unless you're Muslim, a Chinese Muslim or East Asian Muslim. Um, and then I have to say like, um, the lastly, the blacks, like Africans. Yeah, while there are some like really attractive ones in Africa, but you gotta be careful. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have businesses there. You you know, and like it's not a easy game there to play, man. And you gotta watch out for diseases. Over there it's just diseases are rampant. So I don't know if that's like the thing to go for, but there are YouTubers that have succeeded. Like have gotten tons of women over there in various countries. But I don't know, man. It's just a territory that I'm a little bit more unfamiliar with, and therefore, like, I wouldn't recommend it because it's gonna jump through a lot of hoops, and any of these hoops in Africa is gonna be more dangerous, than others. And I think I didn't mention much about like um, Cambodia, those places like that. I would just qualify that most Cambodians and Thais are pretty similar. I think lastly that I have to say about like Indians is like I have to say recently I have to say like I had to list not delist but like lower the list of Indian women to the fact that I think it's just the fact that it's very very tough to find great Indian women anywhere and good and that likes you at the same time because I think there are more competitive Indian bachelors out there. So like they would look for other Indians because they got lots of choices. And I think for them to like you and their parents to like you and everything because they're no longer becoming a minority, they're becoming a majority in certain like parts of Europe, America, and things like that. They're gonna not find, as many like East Asian men attractive. And for them to actually want to stay attractive and stay fit is actually, relatively speaking, uh, in lower numbers overall. And so prove me wrong if it is, what I'm saying? But I think intelligence speaking wise, it's definitely um, like Indian women is definitely very, very close, in terms of intelligence and ideals with East Asian men. However, like romances, there are a lot of stumbling blocks with other siblings, other like family members, and all those other stuff. Puts a real drain onto like the relationship meter. But anyways, without further ado, thanks very much and listening in, and talk to you guys later.